Reconnect.
We're live.
I don't know. New, invite people. I don't know how to invite people. I feel like I'm just waiting. We are noobs. If this is live, I have no idea what's happening. But this is a very important live stream, so if this is live, make sure it's happening. How will we know if people are tuning in?
I would assume they'll grab it, just like.
Hi, come watch us. We have important things to say.
There it is. Yeah, okay, so you're on here.
Sweet.
So I can click this. Does that say that I'm watching?
Tap to invite. You're in there.
Did it just say that? Okay.
Yeah, you're up at the top. So we have one viewer.
So.
And it's you.
There's two.
There's two viewers.
Who's next?
I don't know, but hi.
Somebody.
Hey. Happy Monday. You know, after 6. We just got off work. We need to make a live stream because we have some important stuff we really need to tell people. And I feel like this is the best way to do it.
No, so let's wait a minute.
Okay, we're going to wait.
For some.
If you're watching and want to ask something, do that.
Did it not tell you who?
It might tell me who, but I'm not good at this. What are y'all doing? What's happening? I'm having a beer. Corona Premier. That's my jam. Literally just
And
finished.
back to one.
Yeah, nobody
So if
cares.
it's gonna stay this way, then we could have just talked.
We could have.
So.
I don't know. Okay. What should we do? Should we just make a video or should we do all of our stuff now?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, this video is to announce our winners from the Racing for ALS Dave's Race 3, Kyle Quattromani Photo Works, Ryan Cheek Racing. We came together. I was driving. He sponsored a photo giveaway. We decided if we hit $500 worth of donations, we'd add a second photo. We did. We went above and beyond $500. We raised $650 just for our little selves, which I thought that was pretty amazing. So thank you to everybody who responded and donated in my name. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And some of the constraints of our photo giveaway were you would get one raffle ticket per dollar spent. We had different amounts of people or different amounts of donations per person. We actually got over 12 people donating and we raised $650. So we had some big donors. And again, thank you so much. Every dollar made a big difference. This event actually raised over $103,000.
Yeah, it was a bunch.
$103,000. That's huge. And 100% goes to ALS TDI, which is a research company. They're looking for a cure. They're looking for treatments. It's a big deal, you guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. So for our giveaway, we gave $1 equals one ticket. We added an extra ticket for people who liked Racing for ALS and Ryan Cheek Racing.
And we put them in a random number generator.
Yeah, we assigned numbers like 1 through 50, or actually it was probably 1 through 52, depending on what pages you liked. And we went through the whole thing, did a random number selection. Bum bum, I don't know how to do a drum roll. If I was
drum roll for the one other person that's watching.
Yeah, if I was gonna do a drum roll right now, that would be it. Our first winner was Mr. Robert Helms. So congratulations, Robbie. Thank you so much for donating. You have won a 16 by 24 inch metal print of one of Kyle Quattromani Photo Works pictures. Any picture you want, anything.
Yeah, you go on my website and look around or message me and I can help you figure out what you want.
Just feel free to reach out to us and we can show you whatever. So what we did for our second giveaway, like I said, we once we reached that $500 donations, we added a second print to give away. And we didn't want the same person to win twice. So for our second drawing, we subtracted those numbers, actually took them out, reassigned everybody new numbers, continued a new random number generator, and our second winner was Miss Lisa Martin. So congratulations, Lisa. Thank you so much for donating. Just reach out to us and we'll get you hooked up with a metal print. So those are our 2 winners, Mr. Robert Helms and Lisa Martin. Congratulations.
Thanks,
it's very exciting.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We will do more stuff like that in the future.
Absolutely.
To try to generate some activity on these kind of charitable events and whatever else we have going on in the future for our track car stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, this charity meant a lot to me. Personally, I got to go and do a race day out of this at VIR. Let me tell you a little bit about Dave's Race. This was the 3rd annual Dave's Race, and it was, again, a charity event for Racing for ALS where 100% of the proceeds goes straight to ALS TDI. And every donation that was made is a tax-deductible donation, which is huge. So you're getting help on your taxes, you're getting me a time on track, and you're helping a really great cause. So there is just a win-win-win.
And all that money goes...
All of it.
VIR, I don't know what they got set up, but all that money goes straight to the charity.
Absolutely. And it's great. So again, thank you to everybody that donated. I look forward to doing this event again next year. It may be even longer. Hopefully we can get more donations. We can give away more pictures. I hope you guys are really excited to our winners who won some sweet stuff. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Let's see, what else? There were some other things I wanted to talk about. Again, racing for ALS is something that means a lot to me. I lost my father last year in 2020 to ALS. And I won't talk about it more because I'm going to cry. I won't cry. I don't want to cry. But it's something that's very important to me. It means a lot to me. It is a disease that we don't understand a lot about. And having a group of people that are super dedicated to finding a cure, finding treatment for such a misunderstood disease in racing. Like, these people love race cars and they want to find a cure for this. That's my heart. That means so much. So Dave's Race was really fun. It was a unusually hot weekend. It was just one day on a Friday at VIR, which is Virginia International Raceway. It was beautiful, great people. Got out there, had a good time. I ran my old track tires. It was kind of hard for me to reach my fastest times there that I had set way back in cooler temperatures. Understandable, but it actually kind of worked out some kinks for me because my car had some overheating issues. I was trying out new brake pads, new brake fluid. So it was a really good test and tune for me personally. We got back home and knew we had to buy some things for my car because my car overheated like crazy, lost power. Luckily, no damage to the engine, just, hey, your car's gonna overheat in like 90-degree temperatures, which worked out really good because at SCCA Time Trials Nationals in Bowling Green, we had, what, 100-degree temperatures?
Yeah,
it was so hot, like 100 degrees. It was so hot. But we had come back and ordered parts, and my car was doing fine at Nationals.
Yeah. Shout out to Terry Fair for hooking us up for all that. Put a big Mishimoto radiator in under his recommendation. It ran great. Upgraded it to an Edelbrock water pump and put a new thermostat in since we were going to be making a mess anyway.
Yes.
So,
and we went ahead and replaced the thermostat just because we was in there.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of preventative
the car did
maintenance.
good. The car did good on the cooling side.
On the cooling side, yeah.
So, but we're still learning a lot about this heavy Mustang.
Yeah.
And we had some. Okay. That was Old Boathouse whiskey, and I've drank it all. So
nobody cares about my beer?
I have to.
Come on now.
I have to get some more. I bought that in Kentucky. It was like $30 for 1.75 liters, so it was pretty cheap. It's very good, but
yeah, my beer costs like $8
it's
for a
empty.
6-pack. So
it's empty
cheap
because
is relative.
it was a Monday today for sure. So
it was a Monday, and I've only been working for like 5 days.
Yeah,
So it still was a Monday. one little thing I wanted to touch on about the Racing for ALS Dave's Race 3 event is I got to meet some amazing people. Normally I'm just running around with SCCA people. This kind of drew a different crowd. I got to meet Scott Hartman of Track Shaker. Super great guy. He's really committed to motorsports, has his own website. If you are interested in any type of motorsports event, go to his website because he's like gathered everybody's information in one place, and he also has stuff that you might want to buy, like a helmet and anything else in your car. So definitely check out trackshaker.com. I got a chance to talk with Scott Lloyd and his family, everybody. It just felt like one big family at this event, which I love.
It was a good event.
That's a big deal.
Everybody
for me.
was chill. There was no carnage.
Absolutely.
Like we usually see at time trials, somebody usually sends it a little bit too hard.
Yeah,
and,
there was.
It was nice and chill event. You know, everybody was just shaking their cars down and checking everybody else's cars out.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a couple of things that happened mechanically, which are to be expected on hot track days. New parts installed might have some issues, but overall, people on track, very kind, quick to give point buys, and nobody overdriving their car. So, bravo! It was a wonderful
awesome.
event.
We'll definitely do every one that they have from here on out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
We're lifers for that.
Yeah, and we love VIR. I mean, it is probably one of my most favorite tracks at the moment. I love being able to stay trackside.
Yeah, having the hotel right by the turn 5 exit is pretty sweet for the kids.
Yeah, and the
because
track.
we're usually towing some munchkins with us, and
Absolutely, we're a
It's
family. We're a family racing team.
it's
so
rough when they can't go get out of the heat somewhere because everybody runs to track events in the blistering summertime, and when you got a 6-year-old running around, it's nice to be able to put them in the air conditioning for a little bit.
absolutely. So we're really looking forward to getting back to VIR and really looking forward to next year's Dave Race 4. We
Yep.
can't wait. We're already in, so can't wait. What else?
Well, you got new. You had new Carbotech brakes on for that race.
I did. I have been talked to, I can't even count how many times, by Chris Engel, who is a Carbotech representative. He drives a Viper, which I love Vipers, and he's a great driver, and he is adamant about representing Carbotech brakes, and he always walks by and he's like, hey, you need that on your car, because I've just been running stock Brembo pads. I mean, I did a brake upgrade and then it was just stock pads for me, you know, and finally upgraded to the Carbotechs, got to run them at Dave's Race 3. Super hot temperatures, so I was combating my car overheating, and I was also feeling new brake pads. And, you know, it was a learning curve for me. They didn't handle, or they weren't responsive like I was used to with an OEM pad. They were really, really good when they were good. And it just took some time for me to get used to the pads. I think there was a whole lot going on for me that day on track, and I actually didn't get that much track time, especially in the afternoon once the car started overheating, and I was getting like 2 laps in and I would have to come off because the car's just too hot.
Which was probably a good thing there,
I think
because
so.
we had
I agree.
a new issue, and an issue that we didn't realize was going to be one. But I don't know if it was there or if it was just warped there, but the rear rotors on the car with the Carbotech brakes, and how much better she can stop and how much faster she's driving now, because you're a little over a year into your track day events.
Yeah, we're at like a year right now.
The driver's side rear rotor actually has a big crack in it.
It did.
And I don't know how. If it was there, I just didn't think that a rotor would crack like that, I guess.
So let me explain this a little bit for you guys. When we left VIR, we knew we needed to attack the cooling system in the car. Kyle reached out to Terry Fair of Vorschlag, and he was super helpful. He was like, yeah, that's very normal. So we immediately upgraded to a Mishimoto radiator, an Edelbrock water pump. Okay, I'll talk technical while he goes and gets more whiskey. So thank you to Terry Fair again. I think we mentioned this earlier, but again, thank you so much for all your help. While we were having overheating issues, we were like, hey, we've got these upgraded brakes. We probably need to address some brake overheating issues, because I was having a little bit of inconsistency. I didn't know if it was me. I didn't know if it was the hot track. I didn't know if it was the new pads. So we've got the Mishimoto and all the cooling system happening. We also went ahead and ordered the 4-inch brake cooling lines from Vorschlag, which they are made for a newer Mustang S197. I have kind of the early S197 version. I have the 05 to 09. This brake cooling kit was designed for like 2011 to 2014, not exactly my Mustang. So actually Kyle had to make custom flanges. Kyle's a machinist. If you didn't know that, he probably keeps that on the DL, but he is an amazing machinist. He works at Appalachian Tool and Machine. He took some measurements, as well as being in communication again with Terry Fair and needing to know specific inner diameters on these 4-inch brake lines. Anyway, Kyle made these flanges that mount right into my bumper. We had to cut into my bumper, which is very scary again. But Kyle made the flanges that seat into the front of the bumper, and behind the bumper the brake line tubing can connect to. Vorschlag also makes these custom brake backing, what's it called? The backing plate
it's
behind
the dust
rotor.
Cover.
Okay, a custom dust cover which hooks
It's got a big hole in it.
Yeah, it hooks to the braking line, and so air is coming straight through my bumper, down this 4-inch tubing that's woven all around crazy to miss tires and stuff, and it backs into the dust cover on my brakes, and it shoots air straight into my rotor.
Inside it.
Inside the rotor.
Where all the cooling fins are in the rotor.
It's super cool.
It packs it right there.
I was geeking
out.
out pretty hard.
It's sweet.
It is really sweet. So we installed all of that before we went to Time Trials Nationals, and we made sure we had wheel clearance. You know, it's just amazing.
Yeah, here's the holes.
Yeah.
She signed them
I did
because
sign them.
one day she's gonna be famous. So this is pieces of the car here.
I don't know.
I don't know what we're doing with them,
I don't
but
know. They're there.
she did sign them.
I didn't want to get rid of pieces of my bumper just in case I needed to put them back.
This is what we're drinking. This is Flatboat, and if you notice
Apparently it's good.
how empty it is, just understand that
It was Father's Day yesterday,
drank it
and we
here,
had 3
and,
fathers in the house that really enjoyed their
Yeah.
whiskey.
yeah.
So don't judge that one.
Cheers.
Anyway, we went to SCCA Time Trials Nationals in Bowling Green at the National Corvette Museum Motorsports Park. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And we had fixed the cooling system. We had fixed any kind of brake cooling issues we were gonna have. We got there.
Thought the car was sorted.
Really felt the car was just gonna be like rock on.
Yeah.
I came into
And you
this
ran
event.
a 233 last year.
I came into this event chasing a 233. The car has a lot of new parts. I have caster camber plates. I've got a year behind the wheel. I did really good at the Pine Mountain Hill climb. So me and the car were like, we're just together. Whew, really thought I was gonna nail some nationals. First day, ran my old setup, which is a staggered setup from last year's, because it was a practice day, didn't have to run my
Work up to
new rubber. It was a 265/35 in the front, 285/30 in the rear, old tires. Also ran those at VIR, so I kind of knew what the car was gonna do. Really had some braking inconsistencies, and this event,
Very juddery.
yeah, a lot of shaking in the steering wheel when I'm coming into braking.
You'll see it when she posts a video.
Yeah, whenever I do that. But so a lot of shuddering in the braking, which doesn't necessarily mean a warped rotor. Most likely it's a pad deposit on the rotor because of
Uneven.
inconsistent braking, which I reached out to professionals here. You know, I reached out to my friend John Krolowitz, who reached out to Sam Strano, who got back to me, and it was like, look, you've got new brake pads. You might be thinking you're going to expect more braking, so you're just hammering the brakes, and you know, you've still got ABS on the car, so you're getting into that. You know,
Actually
maybe
lock the wheels up
so
too quickly.
maybe be a little more smoother on your inputs. And I'm like, okay, maybe that is happening. Maybe I am expecting too much from my brakes. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to my concerns. Thank you for finding somebody with an answer and giving me an answer.
Yeah.
The next day, we started time
Well,
trials.
we took the wheels off.
We didn't do that until
We
the
didn't
next
take the
day.
wheels off yet?
No, we didn't
Okay.
do that
So
until
we
the
didn't
next
take the wheels
day.
off yet, but
So the
spoiler
next day,
alert. We're
next
taking
day.
the wheels
well,
off.
we were going to do that anyway. We were going to switch to my Bridgestone RE71R square setup, which I have in a 285/30 on all four corners of the car. So we did that, and we also decided that we were going to bleed the brakes
At the
because
least bleed the system.
just in case.
Because we had put Castrol SRF
Yeah.
in the, did you tell them that?
No.
Yeah, she's got Castrol SRF in the system
Upgraded
as
brake
well.
fluid. Mm-mm.
So I didn't think there was any air
I geek
bubbles.
out over new
but
parts
we're
on
just
my
trying to iron all that out.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe there's some air in the line from changing out the fluid. So we changed tires, bled the brakes, went out for my first day of competition, first session. Ran into immediate issues coming down the front straight on NCM. I'm going about 100. I think I hit like, I don't know. I can't
And
remember.
then 183, Kyle Carrot.
I'm so
not
jealous.
quite.
That's irrelevant.
It's maybe 123.
I think I hit 117.
I was
No,
close.
no, 117.
117?
117 was
No.
my fastest
That's
from
good.
the whole event. Like, my car's not fast at top end. It's not. It is what it is. So I'm hitting maybe 116, 117 on the front straight. I lift, go into braking like normal. I have good brake pressure. I'm like, okay, we're not stopping like we're supposed to. So I add just a little bit more pressure, and the pedal breaks off. My foot
ABS
felt.
lockup.
My foot felt like I went straight to the floor. My wheels went and everything squealed, and I was like, well, that's very scary, but luckily I'm slowed down enough to take this turn.
And that causes your car to over-rotate.
It's kind of terrifying, but I mean,
But
I can
she's
handle
good.
it. I can handle it.
So you
I
see
like-
the cars in
I
one
like to
piece back
party.
here.
I like to party.
Yeah. So she was dealing with all that shaking and a lot of over-rotation,
Yeah,
which you adjusted your rear shocks.
I did. That was the next thing I did. That was even later. Even late, like we went through
It's
a
a lot.
It
For
was
it
so
being the
much.
farthest track we drive to, we do a hell of a lot of diagnostic
during the event.
yeah,
which
so
is not something
in
I
100-degree
enjoy.
heat. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Lots of
No, he doesn't.
sweaty mess going on there,
He doesn't love it. I promise.
but you have so much help at these time trial events.
Yeah, I
mean, if I brought no tools, we would have
we would had enough tools.
everything we needed to fix everything. So
Yeah. I just again want to emphasize this is a competition that we were at, but everybody did everything they could to help us.
yeah, and
that
Rob,
is
especially
huge.
you guys, like,
Oh yeah.
don't apologize for anything.
Our,
you know?
our super
Everybody-
cool caravan.
Our little block.
Love you guys.
Our little block of track cars was awesome.
It gets me excited. I don't know what to say.
But-
Now I'm
and I
dork
don't know.
face.
You know the
I'm
next.
dork face now.
Well, when the juddering wasn't going away.
Okay, so let me explain some juddering. Let me expand on that just a little bit. So you have where you're not on the brakes. There's no shuddering. Steering wheel feels great. A brush of the brakes, not too bad. Like very light to moderate pressure. Holy cow! Everything is shaking like crazy. From moderate pressure to, and this is where I would say I usually like to start at moderate to full braking in my good braking zones. There was a little bit of shuddering, but it felt, I'm guessing my new brain is like, okay, well, I've just rubbed off all that pad deposit and now I'm in good braking. But it was only like this big, and once I got past like kind of good braking, ABS went, "Nuh-uh, girl."
Yeah.
And it was like,
went crazy time.
"No, you can't."
You'll see her eyes in the videos.
Yeah, they get about like disc plates.
Yeah, she looks
like, just huge, like, oh, we ain't stopping. And so it was a little scary. A little scary.
And so you came off track.
Yeah, I came off track and immediately talked because I didn't feel safe.
When her foot went to the floor,
absolutely,
she came off track, talked to John.
I didn't feel safe. I didn't want to ruin anybody else's track time.
Yep.
Number one, this is a time trials. We're already separating out. If I can't trust my car and I end up messing up, everybody's going to get a black flag. Everybody's going to have to come in, whether it was their fast lap or not. And that's just not something I want to do to the rest of my family and competitors out there. Like,
yeah.
I came off. I drove fairly consistently fast just to get around to the end of the, to pit in. Came off. The next day we had, what do we have? We had track sprints is what they're called, where it's just where you run a section of track from point A to point B. It's usually through some curves. Sometimes it's backwards, sometimes it's crazy, but it's a very short section of track, and then you're back into a line where your car's cooling off, your brakes are cooling off, you're kind of cooling off. So it's not so weird to be able to drive the car very hard and not be replicating these braking issues.
Yeah, and your times there were
less than 2 seconds off some of their podium people in my class. Like, that's not a bragging point. That's a real fact.
For your full track lap, you should have been 226, 228.
I should have.
Okay,
I should have been faster.
But you're not running the big straights.
I just want my car to stop.
That you have to stop the car at the speeds that you're needing to stop.
Yeah, I was never reaching over, I would say, 100 miles an hour during the track sprints, which it would induce prolonged braking, harder
you're not
braking.
Stuffing a lot of heat in the brakes.
Yeah, and it's very quick. So
now,
track sprint's really, really good. I'm sleeping Saturday night, or I'm about to fall asleep, and my brain goes, hey, you're having braking issues, you're having over rotation issues. Maybe you should Google this because you have adjustable parts on your car. So I do some Googling, and I realize that I have all my front struts and rear shocks set to firm. I have single adjustable dampeners. My coils are one setting. There's nothing I can do for that, but I can adjust my dampeners. And everything I read is like, hey, loosen up your rear and you might be able to stop overloading your front tires. You might be able to stop this over rotation. So I did that on Sunday, which was back to competition full track days. I did that. I noticed some immediate benefits. However, I was still having braking inconsistencies, which made me feel, hey, this car might not stop. I don't know if it's me, but I can't use the brakes like I want to use them, and that means maybe I need to relearn them. Maybe there's something in the car, but from all the advice I had gotten from multiple people, we've had the wheels off, we've bled the brake fluid, everything was pointing to driver error. So what do? I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to back off. I'm driving this car at 5/10 into my braking zones, and that meant I really needed to hit my apexes. I needed to really carry more speed through turns, but at the end of the day, I was really babying the car, which made me personally feel my brake pads were, it was something I had never experienced, and I was really hating on my brake pads. Spoiler alert, not my brake pads. Nope, still really love my brake pads. Just to let you know.
We, and I don't know, when we took it off, maybe it wasn't cracked yet. Maybe it was just really warped. When I reached out to Terry Fair again.
Man, thank
Because
you.
he's
I don't
just
know.
been
I
awesome
doubt
in the
they'll ever
last
see
couple
this,
of
but
days.
if he does, thank you, man.
And when I reached out to him, there's apparently, and I didn't realize it would be necessary to do, but apparently he's tracked a lot of S197s and now an S550s, which is the blue car, that's S550, S197. So the white car has 11.8 inch rear rotors, which is not so big.
It's very small.
So there's a kit that is a new caliper bracket, which lets you have a bigger rotor. It uses the same caliper more or less, but which is legal for our class.
It's all good.
Right?
It's just a brake upgrade.
So
very normal.
it expands it out 2 more inches to 13.8. So that's a lot. And Terry says that he would only get 3 track days on 11.8 inch rotors due to the heat dissipation. They would always crack. And the other ones, the larger ones from the GT500 that we're going to put on this car, they should be here maybe Wednesday
This week.
from Core Motorsports.
This week. We're getting them this week.
Are
Like I said, I get really excited.
you can run them
For
for
race
like
car
a
parts?
year
Like
before
super
you
stupid
have
excited.
anything breaking on the car. Like you just don't crack rotors as often. Now, also, Terry said that a cracked rear rotor, because I called Chris Engel up, talked to him for a hot minute.
So I mean,
'Cause she's busy now. She's busy till 6 p.m.
everybody's busy.
Right? So
Everybody's
I
busy.
call Chris.
But I am
We're
busy
talking, and basically, it's probably not the brake pads. It's a user error or whatever. So
now.
that
Again, user
I
error.
come out here just to look, and I don't know, when we pulled the brakes off of it, when we pulled the wheels off the car and inspected the rotors, and that was me, that was Rob, that was Ansel Henry, who is not on Facebook at all, but he's got
He-
a 08 California
I think it's
Special one of
a
these.
07, but he podium third in our
Yeah,
class.
he's fast as all
in the
get
same
out,
car, basically.
and he is like the guru for these cars
He's
while we're
great.
at the events.
We're so lucky
Yep,
that we know
so we
him.
hung out with him and his wife the whole time we were there too.
Him
His
and
paddock
Missy.
next to us.
Him and Missy.
But basically, we all looked at it, and I guess that crack
I
was
don't know when it
under
came.
the brake pad, or it was getting ready to happen, and the rotor's already warped. Really, because if you're cracking rotors, they're warped already. And rotor warping is a big thing online because everybody's like, oh, my rotors are warped. You're probably not going to do that on the highway. Now, on track's a different ball game, but I didn't think it was going to be the back rotors that were going to go nuts. But talking to
much.
Terry,
Yeah.
and this rotor, and we can pop the phone off. We got it on a little tripod right now, but
Yeah.
I'll show you.
We can show you if you want to see
The
it.
rotor is cracked all the way through, and when the back rotors are cracked on these cars, the ABS goes crazy.
So ABS
because
was freaking out.
That crack is causing that back wheel to catch on that shelf it's making as it's coming by. So pretty sure that was what all of her issues were at Nationals and VIR with the brake judder. We will know for sure at her next event, but probably from talking to Chris, we're right by Highway 9, and this car's still street legal.
Cool thing
So
about
once
having
we
good
upgrade
roads.
it, we'll take it down 9 and lay on the brakes hard and feel what we feel and see if it's juddering still or not. So I think we got that problem ironed out. The other issue that she's having, because she's a little lady, she's not as tall as she is in the videos.
I'm not little.
She has to
Full
have
size.
her seat very close up to the steering wheel. So
Okay, I got short arms.
with the seat close to the steering wheel and her halo seat, so she's got this big cradle coming around her head because we don't want to break our necks if we roll the car.
Safety's number
So-
one.
So that halo seat comes around and then it dishes back out. So when she shifts backwards,
It's not
to
shifting
fourth
back.
gear.
It's from third to fourth.
she
but
hits the seat,
my arm hits.
right?
So I have to kind of go third to fourth, just third to
Yeah.
It's a
It's
whole
not
wrist
fluid.
movement. Yeah.
So, and she freaks out about car parts, right? So I waited for her to pass out, and I ordered the.
Pass out makes
the
it sound like I
Hurst-
was drinking. I
Well,
was
she's just tired.
tired.
So I ordered the Hurst short shifter, which Ansel has on his car, which is sweet. We definitely
New car part.
look all over his vehicle when we are
We
at
do.
the track because he
we
has
look
all
at
the
his
nice
car
stuff.
like, what have you got? You're so fast.
So the short shifter's coming, which is good because April's car, which is outside, her Mustang,
Our daughter's
her
car.
shifter's really sloppy. So we're gonna put this shifter in her car,
And I get
so
the
it's like
new one.
it's like hand-me-down clothes,
I get
but
the
with
new
race
one.
girls.
Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, again, Hurst. I get a Hurst shifter, you people. Hurst.
It's not the billet one, because billet only has a 30% reduce and throw. This is the competition, which has a 40% reduce and throw.
Yep.
So
Super.
that is all that should be here this week. So
It's very
so
exciting.
we should be putting all that on next weekend.
I just wanted to add that my sponsor, Charisma Detailing, is paying for my new rear brakes. I just happened to mention I was having a problem and I was going to have to order new parts, and they were like, hey, we support you. How can we help? We want to buy this part for you. So
Yeah.
thank you so much to my sponsor, Charisma Detailing. You have no
And
idea. This
if you
is a
want
big
to
deal.
fully support that, you need to come up here and put it on the car.
Stop. We do want you up here.
Because
We really do. But
There's still
that's just because
there's
we love
still
you. We love you so much.
There's stuff in the fridge
that's
for y'all.
That's a selfish request. Stop.
it is stuff.
Stop.
I'm gonna show you.
That's.
I'm gonna show you what we got still.
Stop. Nobody cares. I care. Thank you, Charisma Detailing. That is a big deal. That
So
you
we
guys
still-
really listen.
We still have these
That you really listen and support
Mexican
me
sodas.
in a real way.
The
oh my
Coca-Cola.
God! Stop. No, but for real, that's the type of sponsorship I adore and I love, and I'm just really thankful we actually happen to also
She was
be
actually
friends.
going crazy about the pens.
What?
The pens, not
Oh, I
not
thought you
the
said
pens.
da pens. I was like,
The pens.
we don't need depends. I
Not
am
in here.
fully in control. Right now, I'm not endurance racing yet.
Pee right on the bed. Whatever.
I'll put that baby. No, that's too much. That's gross. We're not going to talk
That's a
about.
different.
No,
Yeah, that's a different video.
this like never happened. So this is very weird. I don't know.
So
Stop.
anyhow,
The pens, the Charisma Detailing
Yes,
pens. I have a
that's
handful.
what I said.
I have a handful of Charisma Detailing pens.
Gio steals them
Click,
and she
click.
gets upset.
Pens. So I can sign my autograph.
What else is there?
I
What
don't
else?
know.
What else are we supposed to talk about?
We have a lot of stuff.
Autocross,
Oh,
ladies
gosh.
drag racing.
Wait,
talk
wait,
about
wait.
talk about the drag racing. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, the ladies drag racing day. Okay, so I got to go and volunteer at a ladies drag racing day at Greer Dragway in South Carolina. The event was hosted by Karen Thomas and Jennifer Fuller. Karen Walter Thomas. I know she's got that middle name in there. Karen Thomas is amazing. She competes in the Ultimate Streetcar Challenge with a Tesla, and she drag races a Tesla, and she's a champion in a Tesla. Oh my gosh, she's I really
She's
like her.
legit.
Yeah, I really like her. And then
her and her husband are fast people.
yeah, and don't get me started on Jennifer Fuller, who is a very
She's cool.
she's a close friend of mine. She's amazing. I love you, Jennifer. And
She's got a lot. As her reveal today, she has a lot of American supercars now.
yeah. You told me she just made a post. I just got off
She
work
did,
and haven't
yeah.
got to be
So
on
Ryan hasn't
social
seen
media.
your post yet,
I haven't got to
Jennifer.
see it yet. I can't wait to see it. So can I talk about all the things I saw and did this weekend? Or
Oh,
is
yeah.
has
No,
she not
she's-
covered
she's
that?
showed
Okay,
all the
so
stuff.
she's had the big reveal. Again, ladies drag racing clinic day at Greer Dragway, which invites women that have never drag raced before, people that have, they just want to come out for a test and tune. We had a really nice crowd. Something that was really special to me is there was a lady who was going to compete later in the day in her C4 Corvette. Excuse me. It was her birthday. It was her 68th birthday.
Really?
68 years old.
Full
there.
blown retired race mama.
Out there drag racing
grandma.
her C4 Corvette on street tires. And you know what? Her daughter showed up. Her daughter showed up for her very first time drag racing. I love that. That makes my heart smile. I love it so much. So I got to share that with those ladies, and I was just super stoked. Again, this event was hosted by Karen Walter Thomas and Jennifer Fuller. Jennifer, my really good friend, wrote a children's book about Jenny Goes Racing.
Can you buy it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. Definitely check it out. Jenny Goes Racing. And my friend Jennifer just bought another new car. And I don't know if you know this, but I have one Mustang and I have two Mustangs. And my friend Jennifer Fuller races a Hellcat Red Eye. But you know what she went and bought? 2020 GT500. Go girl. You can do it. Oh my gosh. And she brought them both to this event. So she was out there drag racing her Hellcat Red Eye, and then she got her brand new, bought it the day before.
Yeah.
2020 GT500, drag raced it, ran it a couple times, and she looks at me and she goes, "Hey, your turn." Me, I'm not a drag racer. I really enjoy watching. I absolutely love NHRA drag racing and going and watching it.
We're going to Bristol in October.
I'm not a drag racer. I think it's very, very cool. I would like to try it more, but I don't have a vehicle set up for it. It's not really in my repertoire. And my friend hands me the open door to her 2020 GT500 and says, "Take it down the strip." I did. I was scared. I was nervous, but I did it, and it was awesome. And thank you, Jennifer, because that was just amazing. But there was a lot of ladies that came out. There was a lot of new ladies that had never drag raced before. And number one, whether they ever drag race again or not, they know the skills. They know what it takes to line up at. They know what it means to stage up. They understand what that terminology means. They got confidence in themselves for trying a new thing. I think it's an amazing program, and I believe this was their fourth drag racing, ladies drag racing day. I believe they even had one at ZMAX, which is pretty awesome. So I really support this avenue of racing. I support this new venture for getting ladies into an area of motorsports. And
drag racing is good to start because it doesn't matter. There's only so many things you can take to the track.
Or just to do. I think it's a great thing.
You can drag race your SUV or your truck.
Support that. Come out and volunteer. Like I said, I had just planned on volunteering all day and helping out.
We got the pup in here.
Cheering on ladies as best I could. I thought it was amazing, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. And I hope to get to do it again for you guys. And you're amazing for hosting these type of events. And hats off to you ladies. And thank you, Jennifer, for letting me drive your car. Oh my God. It was awesome. And the GT, just a little bit of technical stuff because I'm a geeky person about this. This car was on street tires. It was on the PS4S, which is a 300 tread wear out there on a prepped surface, which is super sticky. I've done it in this car. Lord, you don't want to even know my times in this car. GT500, went out there. I'm getting a phone call, of course. This is us. This is real life. This is how it works. But
Gio wanted me to tell you that I stepped on a hornet earlier.
Okay, thank you. Very important information. But GT500 street tires, when it hooked up, my goodness, I just kept backing. Oh, we're going. I never wanted it to end. It was awesome. But I digress. Anyway, I love drag racing. I just love to watch it. I love to support the women who want to come out and feel empowered behind the wheel. Because I think, as even Karen and I discussed, those moments where you're just locked in, there's nothing else to think about. And it's like me on the racetrack. There's nothing else to think about in that moment except for what's right in front of you. It takes 100% of your concentration. You're 100% in control. You can't worry about if the dishes are done. You can't worry about if you've got work the next. It's just right then. It's 100% focus. It's a release. It's so amazing. And if you ever want to try something like that, I highly recommend it. Which leads me to our next thing is we're gonna start something big.
Yep.
You're
talking about the
yeah.
autocross stuff. Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I like seat time. It's a really great opportunity to keep your skills sharp. And track days are expensive. Track days can be $300 to $500 a day.
Hotels or camping.
Yeah,
And food.
car insurance.
And to take your street car, like a lot of people don't have a track car. A lot of people don't have a trailer or a truck they can pull the car there with, so they're driving their daily driver there. When we bought the S197, the white one, it was really because number one, track days are a lot faster, and you have to have a safe. You want to roll cage. Honestly,
I wanted it.
For competition.
You don't have to have it, but I wanted it.
A roll cage is safer. Even if you don't do that, though, when we put track insurance on the blue car, it was like
Ooh. It was
$200 or
lot.
$300 a day, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it was over $400, $300 to $400 an event. So it was a lot of added cost.
But you had to, because that's
I didn't own that one.
$30-some thousand car now. I don't know what it's worth, but
$2.
probably. Yeah.
It's
We're
a
not
Mustang.
selling it, so it
It's a
doesn't
Mustang.
matter.
It doesn't
But
matter.
but yeah, I mean, so it's a lot of risk, and
Again,
a way cheaper venue to do racing competition.
seat time.
Seat time,
At the
learning
limit.
how to drive, learning how to steer and throttle and all that is the autocross.
Autocross, woo, parking lot dancing with cones.
Yeah, and how long have you been autocross?
That's how I got into
Long
it.
time.
That's exactly
Long time.
that's exactly right. That's how I really got into racing. That was how I felt really comfortable with this blue car. Was with my very local autocross club, Highland Sports Car Club here in Asheville, North Carolina. Got to come out, dance in a parking lot around some cones, feel this torque monster beast, really learn how to control it, make it do what I want to do. And it's fairly cheap. It's like $35 an event. $35.
It's cheap. And it's right here in Asheville, so
$35.
it's not a long haul for us, and it's not a long haul for all our Greenville friends.
It's not too bad.
I think Raj comes, and
We do.
it's how far do you say it is?
It's about an hour.
About an hour for him.
About an hour.
So that's not bad. I mean, most of the tracks for us are 3 hours-ish,
if not more.
and then
Absolutely.
it's more of an event. You can
Yeah.
drive there on your sticky tires when it's an hour.
Yeah, you
away.
can.
So
our
with that
big
being
venture
said,
is I want to get more ladies involved in motorsports. And for me, my intro to motorsports was autocrossing.
yep.
And luckily I had a vehicle I could do it with. I had this beast right here.
You
not
did it.
not
You had
this
a
one.
BMW.
I did. I tried autocrossing with my BMW and it was kind of fun.
That car unfortunately turned into too much of a show car to autocross.
I did, yeah. If I
But
had
you
a cone
did.
with
You've
that,
been
it would have been bad.
autocrossing for like a decade if you count all that, because you went to the performance center.
But it
in
would be like a
autocross.
handful of events.
Yeah, not
over
steady. You weren't
over
steady
10 years.
autocrossing until the blue car.
2017. Yeah. Anyway, our plan is to try to get more women into autocrossing, and it can be very scary to want to bring your daily driver. You don't know what kind of wear and tear you're going to put on it. You don't know what it's going to do when you hit cones. So why not arrive and drive at
Yeah.
an autocross? And
Now that happens.
I want to provide that, and I also want to provide a safe atmosphere for ladies that have never done anything like this, where they can ask a lot of questions. They get somebody that is a lady and can answer their questions. And I'm pretty good at my local autocrosses. I'm usually top 10 at least with packs, so I have some skills in my
which
repertoire.
we will explain.
have some skills in my
Axe is
repertoire.
different than your raw time.
So what we're gonna do, because this one's set up for track and hill climb, this one's my autocross car, but this is
That's
not
too much
good.
car to learn on.
This is really hard. We are teaching my daughter, but I have to put it in wet snow mode. It's just really not a great car to learn on. So we're gonna get another car. I have
We
a car
are.
I'm looking
We
at.
don't know exactly what it will be, and I don't know how we're gonna
I know what it's
fund
gonna be.
it yet.
We're just going for
we
it.
were looking at like a front wheel drive car because they're a lot cheaper than most rear wheel drive cars for autocross.
They're
And
not
the
exciting.
used car market is nuts right now.
That's
So we're looking,
I have one
and
that I want.
and
We won't say
honestly,
I want
we're not gonna tell you what it's gonna be exactly.
I want to tell you.
But we are looking. What's funny is I'm usually the one that spills the beans.
I know you can't
So-
keep a secret,
So she wants me to tell you.
but I want to tell you so bad
So-
because we haven't even
So
looked at the car. But
we've been looking hard at another vehicle that won't need to be trailered, street legal, to take to the autocross and at the Ag Center and possibly to Franklin on the weekends when we have time
yeah,
to do it.
yeah. That's
And what will happen is we will have people, ladies, young ladies, older ladies, I don't really know exactly how it's going to work out, that will come and Ryan will teach them how to drive autocross in our vehicle.
Yep.
And
ride
they
and
will
drive.
they will all the butterflies that we can remove from their system will be removed. They'll still have
Yeah.
them, most
Yeah.
likely. And I'll be there taking pictures, so they'll have all that too.
Yep.
But the big thing is that a lot of people, a lot of ladies especially, at our autocross there's usually only 3 or 4 women, and
I'm one of
there's
them.
80.
My daughter's the other one. So there's not a ton of
Gio's
ladies.
right
Yeah.
now. There's 80 or 90
I don't know how
people
long it's been.
at
but
the autocrosses.
children come and knock.
And only a couple of girls. So
Yeah.
we want to increase that.
And the best way to do is to have a car.
And if we can
Come
get
out.
that person to come and just drive, like just come with whatever, hop in this car, and we are gonna go autocrossing, and you're gonna get one-on-one instruction and get shown how to do it.
Yeah.
So
And we want
And-
the car to be fun and exciting so they come back.
yeah, and it might
I want to tell them so bad.
it might ignite the passion in these young or older ladies. I don't, like I said, when we started talking about this, it was going to be for high school kids.
Right.
We're going to do something local in town with her biggest sponsor, Black Mountain Tire Connection, for the high school kids. But this is more just for women.
Yeah. Well,
I can promise you that the car that we're going to purchase is not going to be a Mustang, I don't think.
it's not going to be a Mustang.
So,
I don't think
that just is what it
an
is.
option I want it to be fairly intuitive to drive, and this car is something that's kind of affordable right now. It's really not. I can't find this car for under like
It's
$9,000,
nuts.
which I don't
we've
like
talked
to talk
about
money.
selling April's car because of how much they're
Yeah,
worth
I
now.
don't like
She
to talk
freaks
money.
out and acts like she's got the RBF pretty bad when we talk about
Well,
getting
she's
rid of
a
her black car.
17-year-old teenage girl.
So-
What do you expect?
So I don't know.
Not my car, Daddy.
Yeah, it's serious, but it's
So
just
funny.
it's just we've been looking and
I want to tell, but,
For
but
the
we don't
allure
know.
of
But
it.
we don't know.
but
I
see
know.
if we get the car that we're wanting, we're gonna need some funding. I don't want to buy it
We are going to need
with
help.
just us. So
We
I
are
don't
gonna
know if
need
we're going to do a GoFundMe or something like that to try to help
This
us
is an
purchase
amazing,
this vehicle. But we do have our eyes on one specific vehicle that is probably only 5 miles away from the house.
It's an enthusiast car. It is something that can translate from autocross to track very
Yeah.
quickly. I just wanted to touch on one thing. Like we said, when we started thinking about this, we were like, we need to reach young women who, you know, can develop their passion. But as a woman who found her passion later in life, kind of have a little bit of a like, there's a lot of house moms that don't know what they like. And I really want to provide an opportunity to them to come out and try something.
They might be at the house.
They might not even know.
Not even knowing that
that's
they
what
want
they
to do
like.
it. And
They
if
might
you
like
can,
to go for a drive, and that makes them feel like all these endorphin release. Well, how are you going to feel when you're at the limit driving a car you ain't got to worry about? You just showed up. You
we're
drive
gonna do
it
all
hard,
the wrenching here.
put it away wet kind of thing. Just no worries, and getting really good instruction.
Yeah. And we might.
So we're in the infancy, but we really are
I
passionate
want
about
to use this vehicle and our vehicles, all of them, to help show people how not scary it is to work on a vehicle. So it might be that we get a vehicle and then we have these women come here to learn how to change brake pads, learn how to bleed brakes, learn how to do a tune-up, little things like that that aren't offered. You know, I don't. If it is offered somewhere, I would love to know where.
I've not heard of it. But it would be nice to know so we could kind of structure what we're wanting to do off of that as well.
I learned everything here with my buddy Neil Cebulski that we ran an auto mechanic shop out of this garage for 4 years, and honestly for the last year and a half I haven't been allowed to wrench on anything because somebody
this one
doesn't let me touch the cars anymore.
Well, we only have race car to work on, and it's mine.
So
my car.
It's a lot more of a confidence boost to wrench on the car and then go to the track of the autocross and reap the benefits of that.
Absolutely. It's a full circle thing.
And we want more people to experience that.
We want to pass
that's what
that
we're trying
along.
to do.
Yes.
But we don't want to, number one, this car is going to be horrible at autocross, doesn't have big enough brakes.
It's kind of a pig.
Blue car is too much for autocross.
He's a beast.
So we want to have another vehicle to provide for that, because that way if something does happen, it doesn't impede track days and whatnot.
And we want it to be rear-wheel drive and manual. And we want to invite ladies that may not know how to drive manual. That may be part of it.
You might need to learn how to drive a stick.
But
and Trad, I see it's not going to be a Miata. Because Miatas, even though they might be the answer, are not exciting.
Miatas are very, very good. This lady right here,
not exciting though.
I don't like to talk bad about anything, because literally I have a friend who has been tracking a GT500, or not GT500, GT350. He sold it and just bought a track Miata, and he bragged about how much rotors cost on all four corners of the car, and it was like
$14.
Yeah, it was like $50 for all four corners.
Yeah.
So totally understand where there's a price conscious thing, and I completely understand where Miata is always the answer. For me, I want to be just as excited in the passenger seat as the lady in the driver's seat. So Miata's not the answer for me, and maybe that's bougie, but I really think that the car that somebody is going to think about coming out and trying needs to be exciting. I want to tell you so bad. I want to tell you so bad.
You can tell them what
Nope.
area of production it's from.
Not this area. Not this
It's
America.
not American. It's not American.
I want to tell you so bad. What?
So we'll see. We'll see what
see.
happens. We're looking. We're gonna go test drive this car
Fingers crossed.
this week.
Fingers crossed. I'm really, 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 really hoping. What's Trad saying?
He's calling me out on this Miata thing.
Miatas are great. I completely agree. I just wanted to let you know that how crazy the used car market
Miatas
is.
actually cost more than this car right now.
They do.
Because everybody's buying. It seems like everybody wants a track car and everybody wants a stick shift, and it is very hard to find. And
I don't know what he's doing. Our child is going crazy in the
Gio's
background.
going
We're gonna have to wrap this up really
what's
soon.
up? Come
But
on, you come in.
He can come in.
So,
He's
so,
dying.
so, everything we see
Come
is
here,
like
buddy.
nuts for me, honestly.
Come on up here.
What's up,
Sit
dude?
in my lap. Don't. I want you to be quiet, but you can hang out with us, okay?
So, Miatas are good track cars for people who want to get on track. But for somebody who's never been on track before, a Mazda Miata might not be the most appealing vehicle for them to come, hop in, and experience. There's more prestigious brands that
Oh,
are
keywords.
prestigious. You could go with
Just stop. Unless,
Legendary.
yeah.
So
Legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
so we'll see. We'll see what
We
happens.
shall see.
Like I said, if we end up getting this specific vehicle, I don't want it to come 100% out of our pocket. So expect some Facebook posts
Well,
that will be.
this is something
about
I'm really
that.
committed to, and we're still discussing. But I would appreciate help. We'll see what happens.
That I wanted to show you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What's that?
Gio's gotten really into bug identification,
I'll
so he
check it
wants
out
to
when we're
show
done.
us
We're
a
almost
bug right now. Kyle has a bachelor's in biology
I'll come check it
and
out.
lots of bug identification
Well, we're
books,
done
so
with this
that's
soon.
what's happening in the back.
Where's it at? Is it
Um,
moving around?
No, it's on my chair.
I
Okay,
just-
well just wait. It won't go
Up
nowhere.
there.
This
It won't
is
go nowhere.
something that has been in my mind
I'll
for
be right
over
there.
a year now. I thought about this the moment I started wanting to get into competing. So this is not an afterthought for me. This was actually one of my first thoughts, and my racing is kind of an afterthought.
It's-
just to let you know the importance of this endeavor that's
It's-
coming up. This is something that's really close to my heart. This I would have never been able to be dedicated to autocrossing unless we had bought this car. And I'm a car girl, so getting this car was kind of going to be a natural progression of life. But for a lot of women, they're going to be driving minivans. They're going to be driving their
Yeah,
pickup truck.
crossovers.
And they're never going to have an opportunity to bring it to an autocross. So inspiring women to find their passion in motorsports is
Cheaply, cost effectively.
absolutely,
Um,
with opportunity, is a big passion of mine.
Also,
And
you have
I just want women
It's-
to really find that, because there's times in women's life that they don't think they're worth living because they don't have a passion. So
and it's easy to think you're helping women in motorsport when you are a woman in motorsport and winning and doing what you want to do. But are you actually helping unless you're bringing other ladies along with you? So that's where we're at.
and that's why I think the ladies drag racing day is such a big deal, because in drag racing you can bring out your crossover, you can bring out your truck, you can bring out your minivan, because you're allowed to run that down the drag strip. You are not allowed to run your truck or your crossover at an autocross, and it's a completely different style of motorsports. That's why I feel it's very important. For me, I love watching drag racing, but I love driving turns. I love feeling the turning G's and not just the throttle G's. So that's why this is a big deal to me. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, this has been long, and I think that's about everything we have
Yeah.
to talk about. And we will make some Facebook posts individually about, well, I will. Ryan will make some Facebook posts individually about all this stuff later, so that you can read up on it and see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll do.
But I mean, that's really the big thing. The biggest thing is the new autocross venture that we're going to be going. I don't really know the smoothest way to roll that out.
We're just gonna jump in
So we're
and
just
see
gonna
who
do
supports
it,
us because
and we'll
this
see
is something I want to
what
do.
kind of backing we have, and we'll figure it out.
Yep.
So
My next events are an autocross, which will be taking the blue car, and my daughter will be co-driving. She's still in the novice class. She's doing really good. I'm racing pro in the autocross.
Lisa, you just got here. You want a photo? So
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Sent-
Reach out to
you
me,
and
or I'll
Ryan
reach
can
out
talk,
to you
and
privately.
we'll figure out what
But
you get. But
you
you
were one
did
of
you
our
did win your
winners.
raffle.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Anyhow, continue.
So, upcoming events, autocross with the blue car, and then the Chasing the Dragon hill climb, which hasn't opened registration yet, but that is my next official big competition, and I believe that's in the middle of July, so I'm really looking forward to that. I love hill climbs. Hill climbs are my jam. I love it all. What the heck? I love them all. I don't know.
I think that's about it. We'll
Yeah.
show you the crack on the rotor real quick.
You want to see the crack? Is that really? You want to see that for reals?
They
Okay.
probably do. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
unmount this and see if it
Let's
goes
do this way.
crazy.
Take it
That's a
off.
lot of magnet. Okay, so
And then
we're
spin
gonna
it
go this
around.
way. So
It's on the bottom, I believe now.
see that big.
Can you make a point to it?
There she is. See that big crack? That's what we think was causing the trouble.
It says it was interrupted, should resume shortly, so I don't think it's hearing it.
Relax, Gio.
Yep, I don't think you're getting the internet connection over there on the backside of the car.
Well, we'll post a picture up of that.
All right, you're back.
We're back
Yeah,
on.
thank
We'll
you.
we'll put some pictures up of the crack
Yeah,
rotor.
it came in. We're looking at two phones.
Yeah.
We're very professional.
We
here.
don't know what we're doing,
We don't.
so
We do, but not as far as videos go.
I think this is done.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
I think,
for tuning
I think
in.
you were here the whole time, Ted. Love you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out what's
We
going
miss
on.
You. We
Yep,
miss a lot of our friends.
we will we'll put some posts up so you can
Know
see
what's
some
going
more of what
on.
we're
Get some
talking
more
about.
details, more info.
Yep.
But really, from the bottom of my heart, to everybody that supported me for Dave's race, everybody that's tuned in to this video, you guys rock. Thank you. Thank you so much. Where are you going?
over here.
Not your face, my
I was
face.
drifting. I'm sweating, and we got two air conditioners in here,
Yeah.
and I'm sweating.
Welcome to the
because-
She Shed. It's just a garage.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, we love you. Bye. Thank you.